Hello, mixed emotions. We're finally back.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
We were gonna do it the fun with flags episode, but
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're still doing some more research on that.
So much.
Welcome back, y'all. Hey, we haven't seen y'all in a few weeks. Sorry about that. Kids, man, kids. School starting back. Yeah, all that stuff. So we didn't forget about you. We love y'all for supporting us. I appreciate it. And if you've never seen our videos, please like, subscribe, and share. We're on YouTube as well. So please just go hit the button. You're not buying anything. And if you don't want to hear the ding on your phone every 5 minutes, let me put it down. If you don't want to hear the ding on the phone every 5 minutes, just hit the bell part where it don't just tell you. But just hit the button, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. And say something to us. Let us know how we're doing. All right.
Please. Okay, this episode we are going to talk about the Republicans and Democrats and what they do to get our votes, basically. Like what fear tactic that each party uses to get our votes.
Yes. And let me before she starts with these truths. Now, I do lean left. I mean, of course, this is a left-leaning household, but they both are jokes in this area. Like they both use these tactics to scare us to do whatever. I think people should take information how they take it and do their own research, but also take everything both sides say with a grain of salt. Okay, they both want Republicans want to get your money and spend it on themselves, and Democrats they're paid losers.
They want to get your money and spend it on themselves too.
Bam! Same thing. They do the same thing.
But
if you get upset about me saying that, I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry.
I guess what we could consider ourselves is we're progressives. I personally think the two-party system is dumb. I think labels are just there to be used to divide us. I think people should just vote and run on their policies. And you decide who the best person is and don't put a label with it, but we don't do that. So the main scare tactic that Republicans have been using since I've been around is abortion.
That's not funny.
It's not funny. I was raised and still am a Christian. So I think I've said this on our post on pages multiple times. Like, I am not for abortion for myself. But that's because I'm a Christian. That's because I believe it is murdering my potential child. But I don't believe I have the right to tell my neighbor, my friend, anybody else what they should do with their bodies. So in that respect, I'm pro-choice politically.
Right.
Like, I don't think what my neighbor does is going to affect whether I go to heaven or hell. And a lot of people I see arguing against abortion or saying they're going to vote for the Republican Party because they're the party that's against abortion or is pro-life.
Right. I've heard, like, look, I'm a truck driver. If you haven't figured that out by now. So I do work with a lot of white guys that are Republicans. And that I don't care if you're Republican. I'm just saying, like, look, the first thing they tell me when we have these conversations, Democrats, they want for abortion.
Killing babies.
What is you talking about?
Well, first of all, if you're a guy, I don't know what.
No, I mean I get their beliefs. I mean you can't tell somebody to not be a Christian or not be a Muslim. But do you honestly believe people just want to kill babies?
No.
You got to think about what you're saying.
But a lot of people that are saying that they are anti-abortion are too old to have an abortion. I guess what I'm saying is that if this issue doesn't impact you, if you're a Christian, don't have an abortion. If you are too old to have an abortion, you can't have an abortion. So this issue doesn't impact you whatsoever.
And, yes, and I'm a man.
It doesn't affect your life at all.
Right.
What other people do with their bodies.
Now, I would hate
and how they vote.
Yes, I would hate for me to be a man and I can't get pregnant. I cannot. Let me make that sound clear. I cannot get pregnant. So I have no say in what a woman does with her body. I just can't. That's like me telling her that she can't use tampons. Did that make any sense? Or she can't use birth control. Don't you use birth control because you're killing a baby that comes out of a man's semen.
A lot of Christians, well, I don't know if it's Christians, but I know that a lot of traditional Catholics don't believe in birth control.
Okay, that's their problem. Like, you can't tell somebody.
I'm just saying that what I'm trying to get
baby,
across.
Please don't have
no
more kids.
I'm not. It's very hard. Okay, we're gonna go into infertility for just a second. It is very hard for me to get pregnant. Like, I have to have assistance, medical assistance.
That's common. A lot of women
to get pregnant. So me just randomly getting pregnant is almost impossible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's almost impossible.
So that means you be punking me in the kids.
Yeah. No.
Y'all heard it? No. Y'all heard it live. Y'all heard it live. She be punking me to have kids.
See, like, he has to firmly agree that we need to have kids because how we had Eden was by a scientific medical procedure.
All right. Y'all
like, we had to go into the clinic.
The truth is in the middle somewhere, okay?
And he had to agree to insert his semen in me medically.
You don't have to agree to that. I like doing it.
But that was a medical procedure. It wasn't like a sexual procedure.
We're getting off track.
We are. Anyway, so I would never abort a kid. That's my point. It's hard for me to have them. I would never.
And you shouldn't be able to force other people not to have their own decisions.
Or not to. You shouldn't be able to force someone to have an abortion. You shouldn't be able to not.
And it's funny how the Republican senators and stuff like that are forcing these bills. When their mistresses get pregnant, that's the first thing they do is send them to the abortion clinic. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that? I said that out loud?
I mean, I don't know. Anyways, so the main claim right now that I'm hearing on Facebook about abortion is that Kamala Harris, which is our hopefully soon to be vice president, but right now she's a senator.
First black woman.
Hopefully. Yeah. But the claim I'm seeing a lot is that she is for not only abortion and late term abortion, but after birth abortion. So
what? So you're telling me after the baby's born?
A baby that was supposed to be aborted is still somehow born alive.
And that baby's alive.
It's very rare. Yes, it's very rare. But I guess it does happen. And there's claims on Facebook that her and Senate Democrats are for just letting those babies scream till they die. Okay, so I did a fact check on this because I'm like, I don't agree with that. But I did a fact check on it. And sorry, I'm going to be looking down because I'm reading fact-checked information.
These will be posted.
Yes, I'm going to post all the research I've done in a document. That's Malcolm. In a document on our post, our video. So basically that claim is false, and this is why. I PolitiFact, Snopes, all that, I checked it. So the Born Alive Infants Protection Act of 2002 defined born alive infants as human persons subject to the same legal protections as any other child. Under this definition, anyone who kills an infant after a failed abortion can be prosecuted for murder, and healthcare practitioners are obligated to provide the same level of care they would give any other infant. So if you know of this happening, like a doctor just letting a baby that was supposed to be aborted cry till they die, they can be prosecuted for murder. It's not legal to do this. But what Republicans are saying is that there was a recent Senate bill titled Senate Bill 311, which the Democratic senators voted against. But it's basically the same bill as the Born Alive Infants Protection Act of 2002. So, in voting against Senate Bill 311, Democratic senators didn't vote to roll back the protection for live-born infants, but rather to keep them as they are. So they're not for that. She's not for that. There's already a bill, there's already an act covering it. It's being used as a political tactic.
This particularly bothers me because these people, that's really, to me, slander. You shouldn't be able to say these things towards someone, and then you're saying it to a group of people that want to believe everything you say anyway, so that they can say, hey, you Nick Ivey, you are now,
you're a baby killer.
A baby killer. you have
or you support
murdered
baby killers.
And that can get those people that follow them, the crazy ones, to be like, oh well, he killed. I need to go find him and kill him.
Yeah,
that's stupid. Like no. Y'all need to stop with that. Like, come on, man. Like, don't nobody want to kill a live baby. Let's just be for real.
We are both Christians. We're both against aborting our own children. But
please don't have no babies.
But again, we don't believe we can tell someone else what to do because we can't force our religious beliefs on other people. This country was founded on religious freedom.
Oh, of and
from religious.
Y'all didn't know I do that, huh?
So I can't force my beliefs on somebody else, and no one else can force theirs on me. That's
but that's
what that
weird.
means.
But I don't mean to drag
this
along. I don't mean to drag this along, but that's weird how that like a third of the country is controlling the whole country with their religious beliefs. Yeah. And this country is built on separation of church and state. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to switch to how the Democrats use racism to get Democratic votes. Sorry. So a claim I've heard a lot in defense of the Republican Party is that the Republican Party, our dog is crazy, is that the Republican Party was the party that was actually the one to abolish slavery, was for Black people's freedom. I've heard that the Democratic Party founded the KKK, supports the KKK, and I believe that's how a lot of Republicans get votes, is because they tell half-truths. So you can see that, okay, obviously Abraham Lincoln, who abolished slavery at the time, was a Republican.
This is sore to me. Mm-hmm. Like, this bothers me to the point where I want to physically hurt someone, because I don't get me wrong, I'm not going to bother folks unless they bother me first. But when people say that to me, it's like, hey, Democrats are the home of slavery in the first place.
Okay, so to back up or disprove that claim, I fact checked it because I do that. So although the names stayed the same of the Republican and Democratic Party, the platforms of the two parties reversed each other in the mid-20th century. Due in large to the white Dixiecrats' flight out of the Democratic Party and into the Republican Party after the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So 1964, not that long ago. No. A lot of our parents were alive when this happened. Mm-hmm. They were kids, but they were alive. Mm-hmm. So the parties in 1964 switched because of the Civil Rights Act. Democrats at that time became more, I guess, liberal and Republicans of that time became more conservative.
Who was the president in 1964?
LBJ.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Oh!
A Democrat.
Until 1969.
Yes.
Did she say Lyndon B. Johnson?
Yes.
And what that man do for us? Even though he was a noted racist himself. But what did he do for us?
He passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But the only reason LBJ was president was because Kennedy was assassinated.
Okay.
He was Kennedy's vice president. So I don't know. I wasn't alive.
Kennedy was big on working both sides of the fence.
Yes.
He was bipartisan.
Also, yes, and he was also liberal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, so I just want to point out that in 1964, again, that the parties flip-flopped.
Mm-hmm.
They kept their names. The values changed.
The Democrats didn't physically move to the north.
No.
They just switched parties.
Like the Democrats
Southern switch
that used to be in the South became Republicans, and the Republicans of the North became Democrats. The parties just...
So if you're one of my white friends...
Look it up.
Please look it up. And if you say it to me again, just stop talking to me. Because I done proved this more than once.
I will post it. There we go. Anyway, so that's a claim I hear a lot. The other claim I hear a lot is, well, that doesn't matter because Donald Trump isn't a racist.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going to spend a lot of time on this, guys, and I pre-apologize.
No, she don't.
But I have this argument so often, and it's draining. It's so draining. So I'm going to go through a lot of things proving that Donald Trump is a racist.
Just him. We're not talking about his dad.
We're not talking about him we're not talking about his dad who was a known KKK member. Not talking about him. We're not talking about Stephen Miller, which is his what is he? Chief advisor or something like that. Yeah. We're not talking about his cabinet, his VP. We're just talking about Donald J. Trump. Okay? Just him. Just the president. So, I don't know if anybody knows who David Duke is, but he is the former Grand Wizard of the KKK. If you don't know what the KKK is, I can't help you. You're going to have to do that on your own.
Yeah, just turn the computer off.
So, David Duke endorsed Donald Trump both in 2016 and in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, at the Charlottesville alt-right rally, where a anti-racist person was murdered, David Duke stated, "We are determined to take our country back," Duke said from the alt-right Charlottesville rally, calling it a turning point. "We are going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump. That's what we believed in. That's why we voted for Donald Trump, because he said he's going to take our country back."
From who?
Anyway, that was David Duke, guys. Grand Wizard. All right. So, this is where it's going to be tedious. So not only does Donald Trump having the KKK support him,
and the Proud Boys and any other racist
white militias. Anyway, so I'm gonna go through a list, guys. I'm gonna post this list, but I'm gonna go through it bullet point by bullet point, just so it's very clear. In 1973. Donald Trump had a housing discrimination lawsuit filed against him by the U.S. Justice Department. 1980s, he had a business discrimination by ordering all black employees off the floor when he came to his casinos. 1989, he took out ads in the local paper demanding the death penalty be brought back to New York for the Central Park Five, who served anywhere between 7 to 13 years in prison and have received a $41 million settlement after DNA evidence exonerated them. Trump stated in 2016 he still believes they are guilty, even though they have been proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage all of you to get on Netflix and watch the documentary called When They See Us. It's about this case. It's about these 5 people who were wrongly convicted of rape.
Please watch it. Please watch it. I'm a grown man, and I'm not scared to tell you that I've had ugly cries 2 or 3 times during that movie.
It's traumatizing. It really is. It's traumatizing.
It's wow.
But it's eye-opening, and it's the truth, and you need to watch it. In 1991, Trump stated, "Black guys counting my money. I hate it. The only kind of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that this guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. I believe that. It's not anything they can control.
And we steal.
You're criminals.
We're criminals, and we stink. And we stink. You stink. Darkies."
1992. The Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino had to pay a $200,000 fine because it transferred blacks and women dealers off tables to accommodate a big-time gambler's prejudices. In 1993, in a congressional testimony, Trump said that some Native American reservations operating casinos shouldn't be allowed to because they don't look like Indians to me. He's not just against blacks, guys. In 2005, Trump publicly pitched what was essentially The Apprentice's version of white people versus black people. In 2010, Trump said this of Muslims on The Late Show with David Letterman: "Well, somebody's blowing us up, somebody's blowing up buildings, and somebody's doing a lot of bad stuff." 2011, he started the birtherism conspiracy against President Obama.
Right.
Because apparently you can't be black and hold an office. 2015, Mexican immigrants are rapists who are bringing crime and bringing drugs to the U.S. His campaign was largely built on building a wall to keep Mexican immigrants out of the United States. 2015, he called for a ban on all Muslims coming into the U.S. His administration eventually implemented a significantly watered-down version of this policy, thanks to the Supreme Court. In 2016, Judge Gonzalo Curiel, who was overseeing the Trump University lawsuit, was told to recuse himself by Trump from the case because of his Mexican heritage and membership in a Latino lawyer association.
I remember that, yeah.
2016, he started referring to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. 2017, during the Charlottesville alt-right rally, Trump suggested that the white supremacist protesters were morally equivalent to the counter-protesters who stood against racism. He also said that there were some very fine people among the white supremacists.
On both sides.
They killed somebody there. I just want to keep iterating that. They are murdering people at these rallies. Even today. In 2017, Trump told NFL owners to remove players that were peacefully and silently protesting racial injustice, stating, "Get the SOBs off the field. You're out of here. You're fired."
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, he stated that Haitians all have AIDS and that Nigerians should return to their huts. My husband's like 90-something% Nigerian, guys.
I wish I would. Look.
2018, he referred to black and brown countries as shithole countries. In 2019, he continued to refer to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas and made reference to the Trail of Tears when commenting on her return to the political trail.
I don't understand how that flew. I don't understand how any of this is It's still flying.
There's like 22 items here, guys. In 2019, Trump stated that the squad, AOC and her group, who are members in Congress, should go back to their ancestral countries and fix them. In 2020, Trump continually refers to COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus as the Chinese virus or Kung flu. 2020, he started the birtherism conspiracy claim about Senator Kamala Harris. Guess what, guys? She's black, so I wonder where that's coming from.
She's even different. That probably makes him mad because she's even different shades of black. She's
actually Asian.
Yeah, she's
black.
Mixed.
Yeah,
that bothers him to no end. And she's a woman.
And she's
a woman. Man, I can't wait till she gets to hold Pence. him and mother are gonna have a hard time.
Man. Anyway, this is the last one, guys. But don't worry, I'm sure he'll say more. In 2020, he is referring to Black Lives Matter members and supporters as a terrorist organization, but supports the Kenosha shooter and other white supremacy militias.
Oh, didn't we have this? Didn't we have a police officer tell us that some parts of Black Lives Matter are terrorists?
While also saying that the Confederate flag does not always
mean someone's racist.
Racism.
I'm saying that I'm talking to the cop with my face mask on, but he doesn't see my face go, huh?
I walked away. I said after he said that, I said, okay, so it's okay for my kid to have to learn what the N-word means and what a slave is and what racism is at 5 years old, but their flag doesn't represent racism. Okay, that's cool.
How many people has BLM killed? I'll wait.
Cricket.
No, come on, man, with that.
But
man.
what? Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. But what does worry me? This truly worries me, is that if these white supremacist militias do keep killing people at these rallies, black people are gonna retaliate. Guys.
Do you think that's gonna keep flying? Yeah. Okay.
Democrats have guns too, guys. Black people have guns too. I don't know what to tell you.
I've forgotten how many guns I've had. 3 or 4. I don't know. I got them in there. But do you think that we are unarmed? Let's just get this correct.
Black people have been very, very patient. I'm scared that this is going to turn out into a massacre in the streets.
I'm not scared. But I see it coming. I see it coming. I hate to call for any kind of violence or anything like that. I don't want any of that to happen because I don't want it to happen to my family or anything like that. But I noticed visibly, my wife has a Black Lives Matter sticker on the back of her car. And I notice people in public. Now, I watch her stuff like this because I've been watching for it my whole life. I notice people zoom and right up on her bumper. And then buzz around her. And if they can't see who's in the car, try to see if she's black or white. Just be staring and then pull in front of her and hit their brakes. Like, people are actively messing with people that disagree with them.
Yes.
Right
in a
now.
violent manner.
So I'm like, what if you run up on a car that has one of those stickers on it and you got 2 or 3 dudes in there that all of them is running heavy. All of them. And then you pull out your little pea shooter and then they all point AKs at you and you got a problem. But then that'll be the problem that the police would say, or the media would say, oh, well, we got these BLM people that are agitators and they're out here and they're being, we call them, I just said the word. I can't remember. I'm so mad because it doesn't make any sense. People mess with folks and don't want nothing to happen to them.
They want to play the victim after they mess with you.
Like, if you come and slap me, I'm going to slap you back and probably do way more than that.
You can't be an agitator and not expect retaliation.
Right. I mean, there's always freedom of speech. I done went off topic here. But there's always freedom of speech. But there's always freedom of somebody whooping your ass. Yeah, they might go to jail for beating you up. But just know it's going to come. It's going to come. If it don't come right then, you might think you got away with it. It's going to come eventually.
Yes. Anyway, my point of this video was to talk about the scare tactics that Republicans and Democrats use. So Republicans use abortion as a scare tactic to get votes. Democrats apparently, according to Candace Owens, use racism. But what I'm trying to get across is if Democrats are using that as a scare tactic to say, oh, Donald Trump's racist, but it's not true, I just proved to you that it's true. Please do your research. Please vote, guys. Please vote.
I don't care if it's by absentee or if you go out there and stand 6 foot apart from the next man or woman.
With your mask on.
Please, with your mask on. You shouldn't have to risk your life to throw cast your ballot, but looks like we're gonna have to. That's just how
Unless
it is.
you vote,
Because if you don't,
you
we're
get
having
your
no 4 years
mail-in
this
ballot.
guy.
And you can order a mail-in ballot and then go deliver it in person to make sure it gets delivered. I mean, you can do that, but
Please don't vote
you
twice.
have to don't. That's illegal. President Trump told people to get mail-in ballots and mail them in and then also go to the polls. That is illegal, guys. Do not do that. Either vote by a mail-in or absentee ballot or go to the polls.
Get your friends.
Yes, carpool.
Take them with you.
Whatever you've got to do. We just please vote.
And if you don't know your polling station, if you need help with that, don't be afraid to say you don't know how to figure it out. Just leave a message under our comments. We're gonna put this on Facebook and YouTube. We will help you. We will take 5 minutes out of the day, send you a link, or if we need to instant message you wherever you need to go, we'll find out for you too. And also make sure you're
registered. Because they did a purge here in Oklahoma not too long ago. So make sure you're still registered to vote.
Absolutely. So, I think that's about it.
That's it, guys.
Republicans, stop saying that the Democrats, we know that they made the KKK. We get it. But they're not that now.
Well, we didn't make the KKK. But the KKK was a grassroots organization. So the political party of the Democrats didn't create them. But we do understand that the Democratic Party used to be racist. We get that, but it's a half-truth because they are no longer. The party switched. Look it up, guys.
All right.
Also, please subscribe to our channel.
Hit the button.
I forget to say that every time, but please subscribe. And you probably have one more thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get a black friend.
Thanks, guys.